show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Crypto Night Show. Your host Superman in the house. We've got a full show today. We're going to be going through all the markets, stock market, crypto market. Of course, we're going to check out obviously PulseChain. We're going to be full coverage of PulseChain today. We're going to be looking at the 5 heavyweight projects that are coming down the line. They're going to be launching on PulseChain, so those are going to be pretty awesome. Some of them I'm particularly excited about for PulseChain, so I think they're going to add a lot of value. We're obviously going to get into the ProveX sacrifice and see where that is at the moment, coming into the end of day 22. So we're going to talk about that too. Also, PulseChain reached a new all-time low only just hours ago. So we're going to talk about that also, and a few of my opinions on some of the things going on in that space. So it's going to be interesting. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. And don't forget to subscribe on the way in and smash the repost. If you want to repost on X, just smash the repost there. Take a moment to do that. That's great. And if you're on YouTube, of course, don't forget to subscribe. We're on 3 YouTube channels: The Crypto Night Show, Superman Crypto, and PulseChain X. So a big welcome to all the new subscribers on those channels. Also, if you're on X, don't forget to smash the follow button at the top. We're rebuilding our channel after X unfairly took my original one down. Yeah, it's still a bee in the bonnet, or whatever, a pet peeve, because it was unfair, right? That's just apparently we got to get used to this in social media. All right, so that is the play. Hit the repost button on that one. All right, so we're going to kick it off with the stock market, get straight into it. We're going to be getting into a lot of stuff on PulseChain. We're going to be pretty much covering as much as we can. That's pretty much it. So let's go to the crypto markets first, though, and stock markets first, and check out how the markets went overnight for Wednesday. So let's check that out. So Wednesday, S&P 500 closes higher as weak jobs data fuels rate cut bets, and this is good news. Good news for the markets. So rate cuts are getting really almost cemented in from the market point of view. The bond market, etc., all pushing ahead of the Fed, and so this is good news. So anyway, Dow Jones was up almost 0.9%, 408 points. A pretty good day on the Dow Jones, at 47,883 points. Now remember, the Dow Jones has got 30 top industrial firms in it, so it's really a bellwether type of indicator, and it's doing very well. You can see over the last year since Trump's been in power, it's up and away there, so looking really good. S&P 500 is up 1/3%, and that's 20 points to 6,849. A lot of market analysts have got the end of the year target at probably around about 7,300. Tom Lee is kind of in that camp as well, and a lot of other analytic companies are also there. Nasdaq at the moment is up 0.17%, 40 points, 23,454. So a pretty quiet day on the tech side of things for the Nasdaq, but still green day there. US dollar is depreciated still, down quite a bit today, 0.5%. At 98.82 versus the trading partner. So that is the US dollar is depreciated there. Let's go to the commodities. We got West Texas at the moment, $59.11. It is up 0.8%. We got Brent oil down about 0.2% at $62.67. We've got the gold price at the moment, $4,234. So if you guys have got a local river that hasn't been golded out, go check it out. We got that is up $14, 1/3% today. Silver as well is up 0.4%, 22 cents to $58.93. So silver is looking really hot. And you guys know we've been talking about this for a long time. The expectation for silver is to run up to $75 to $125, and mad gains all around. So it's looking really, really good, the old silver. All right, so let's get into some of the news. Now, the economic news we had was the U.S. private payrolls unexpectedly declined in November, falling by 32,000 last month after growing by an upwardly revised 47,000 in October. And that's economists had anticipated an increase of 5,000, so it actually shrunk. Hiring has been choppy of late as employers weather cautious consumers and an uncertain macroeconomic environment. And while November's slowdown was broad-based, It was led by a pullback among smaller businesses there. So that's kind of where we are playing at the moment. So that actually plays into a rate cut right now. So that is good news. Now, on Friday, this is a big deal, guys. On Friday, coming up, is the personal consumer expenditures price index, the PCE. Remember, there's two main inflation measures at the retail level. The PCE one, which is coming out on Friday. This is the preferred gauge by the Fed. It's very broad versus the CPI, which is a much more narrow basket of goods there that have measured for inflation. Obviously, both of them, are blunt instruments, but that's what they use. So, along with personal income and spending figures there. So, this is going to be really key to, obviously we've got weak labor market or mixed labor markets at the very least. And so if we get, a pullback in inflation a little bit, like a little surprise there, then, you're going to 100% with the old interest rate cut. So this is kind of everything's playing in very well for the monetary policy to pump all the assets, low interest rates. And obviously we just a couple of days ago, we just moved from quantitative to tightening. And we're moving towards neutral into probably easing and then expansion monetary supply. So that's kind of what we're looking at there at the moment. All right, so that is pretty much it on the old markets there. Let's have a quick look at the interest rate monitor. Must be less than a week away, surely. It is 6 days and 20 hours, guys. We're counting it down 21 hours. So we're just 3 hours into the 7-day countdown. That's going to be on December the 2nd. But we have got that PCE data coming out on Friday. That's a big day. What will the weekend look like for us, guys, with that PCE data? So I think it's going to be interesting. All right, so we've got 86% of the market expecting a 25 basis point cut inside 7 days from now. So hopefully we'll see some pretty cool rally into the Christmas period. Now let's jump over to the. We're going to jump over the crypto next and have a look at the crypto majors. Check that out. So let's set that up and go over gold. So we're going to go full screen on this one. Full emoji. Full emoji there. So we've got the total crypto market cap at 3.258 trillion, up 2.2%. We got Bitcoin at $93,667, up 2.2%. We've got Ethereum at 3161, up 5.3%. At number 4, we got XRP up 1.6% at $2.20. BNB up 4.1% at $915. Solana up 3.8%, $144. We got a Tron at number 9, down 0.4% at 28 cents. And Doge at number 10, up 3.8% at 15.2 cents. So those are our top 10. Best performer overnight is Ethereum, up 5.3% at $31.63, $3,163. Best performer over the last week has been, let's have a look here, 3.3. I guess it's Ethereum again, 3.8, along with Bitcoin, both pretty even there for the best performer over the last week. Looking at the top 100, we got Sky at number 82 as the best performer, 21.8% for the week gain. Quant up 12%. And we got Pump Fund number 3 up 10%. Bitcoin Cash up 10%. And PulseChain there up 8.4%. The top 5 performers in the top 100. Top 1,000, we got Bob, Build on Bitcoin, up 134%. Fast Token and Sapien, the top gainers apparently in the top 1,000. That does move around a lot. Pretty violent 1,000 there. Trending at the moment, Monad, Zcash, and Pudgy Penguin still trending, although down a little bit on profit taking there. So that is green day for the majors. So green day for crypto, green day for stock market, green day for crypto. So let's jump into the Bitcoin and zoom in a little bit like that. So obviously we had our death cross play out pretty strongly, and that crossed over on the 17th November. We're looking for a sweet turnaround here for the Christmas run. And at the moment, we bottomed off. We already came down to $80,600, something like that. We had a rally back up to 93,000, came back right down again to 83,800, and now we're back up here at 93,600. And of course, the interest rates got to be driving that, right? That turnaround and the expectation around interest rates. And we're at $93,600 right now. Now, and sitting in the backdrop, Trump is running out a lot of economic policy. Having a lot of White House sessions, and of course they have been all pretty positive and amazing. So that's all going to play out into 26, 27. So here we are, looking pretty good there, and looking to rise up as the old Bitcoin. So let's see if we can get back over 100K very soon. with those interest rates, right? We can know it can move very fast when it wants to, the old price. So we could get some pretty big increase days leading up after the 10th of December there, leading into and afterwards. All right, so Ethereum at the moment, the death cross obviously was a bit late coming, but it was on the 24th. I think it was about a week later, was it? Something like that. And we have come all the way down to 2,600. And we revisited that again, a bit like the Bitcoin shape at 2,700. And now we're back up at 31.64. So Ethereum there back on the move. And hopefully this will be short-lived on the old death cross and get a golden cross coming up and get that Christmas run in the play looking good. So that's pretty much it where we are on the majors. On the crypto majors. And we're going to get into PulseChain, and we're going to do a full spread on PulseChain, as well as covering ProveX and a few issues I think that they're out there, right? So we're going to talk about that too. Let me know in the chat, of course, some of your thoughts about what's happening on PulseChain. Obviously, we're not enjoying any of the rally in crypto over the whole year. And of course, having the ProveX sacrifice at this time, obviously pulling off the band-aid, as someone once said, is not helping. And that's probably intentional because it hurts to pull band-aid off. There's two arguments here, and we're getting into philosophy a little bit, and we'll talk about that when it comes up. But we've got share the show on X popping up again, so don't forget to hit the repost button, guys. Daily show on PulseChain covering all the stuff. Now, you guys know it. It's good. Let's get into it. All right, so let's jump over to the PulseChain day. We're on day 936, guys, and we've just witnessed a new all-time low. Now, we're going to get into some averages here. We don't often talk about the cost average on the chain, but at the moment we've got 936 days into the PulseChain, and it's been obviously pretty bad, right? For the most part. I mean, there's been a couple little rallies in the mix way back when, particularly probably when Richard pumped $20 million in, try to get a reversal on the old PulseChain, and that failed, of course. And the criticism, of course, is that we just have two big sacrifice whales and a lot of rotation from Hex into the sacrifice. And of course, so you have a dump fest, right? That's kind of the play. And then when you have the SEC hanging over it, we had a lot of capital flight, all that good stuff. So we had lots of things like that happening. And of course, people that are earning big passive income, validators and things like that, taking passive income out. So, and then on top of that, we've had lots of, pump and dumps and rugs and things like that just to add salt to the wound. So that's kind of the backdrop there. Now, obviously, at the moment with the price pullback, you can pick up a lot of volume. So you are getting a rotation, you are getting distribution over this whole time as well. So there is that to look at. But at the moment, we've got Pulse at the moment, quadruple 0158. It is down 9.5%. We're on day, the ending up, almost finishing day 22 of the ProveX sacrifice. We're in day 1 of phase 2. All right, where it's the volume multiply, the volume rate goes up by 6.25% per day. Now, I have the Pulse cost. So we talked about the mean sacrifice price, right? So we're only at 16% of the mean sacrifice price. We're well below the whale price of 4,200. We're at 1,580, so we're well below that too. However, obviously we have people rotating it. This depends on when you're going to take your cost price. But if we actually take the amount of capital raised and divide it by the total tokens and issuance, we get a price around about 2,000. So we're still even below that cost price of 2,000. So there's a couple of different ways of looking, obviously, at what is cost price, and total sacrifice divided by the total tokens gives you kind of that average price. So that's about 2,000 by my calculations on Pulse. PulseX at the moment is at quadruple 0109. It is down 5.7% today, and that actually rallied yesterday, which is pretty interesting. And of course, back down today. We're sitting at 11% of the mean sacrifice price, but I have the actual cost price at about quadruple 3,000. So we're well below that compared to actually slightly higher than just slightly above 3,000. But we're well below that at the moment at 1,000. So we got the buy and burn at the moment, 8.21% on the old buy and burn. So it's just slowly creeping up, but really that's a long-term thing. And it can help a little bit on the way up. You're burning, but it's sort of just sitting there at the moment because we have so many tokens around. Now, obviously, we have applications on PulseChain that's supply sync tokens, but we need more and more of those, right? And we need quality projects, and that's why we're going to be talking about 5 projects coming up that I think are pretty significant, right? So we got incentive token at the moment is at 58 cents, down 11.5%. We've got Hex on PulseChain, unbelievable price right now, 29 hundredth of a penny, down 11%. And EHEX is below, has lost a zero, and it is at 00096. So 96, what is it? 00096. So that's pretty damn low at the moment. So the combined price of EHEX and PX is at, get this, guys, 38 hundredth of a penny. So super cheap for the old Hex right now. So that is where we are on those. Let's quickly go to the gas prices. We're at 154,000 beats. That's pretty low. So what's that? Not even less than 1/10 of a penny. So it's 900th of a penny. 900th of a penny there. What else? We got Velos at the moment. 52,367. We've pretty much been like this for a week at this level with that amount. And moving to the bridge, just I might sneeze here, 80.7 million. So I think we're similar to yesterday, maybe just slightly below. Yeah, slightly below there. I think what we're at 81.8 or something like that, maybe $1 million down, something like that. But we're over 80 million still. So that is the old PulseChain. Let's have the PulseChain price. This is the hourly chart on PulseChain, and we can see that we just recently got a new all-time low. Can you believe it? So only just in the last couple of hours, we got all the way down to a pretty big low there. Where's all my screens gone? So we got down to 1,500 on the old PulseChain, 1,500, and we've still got the weakness in the chain. Now we did know that we were probably going to have sacrifices at least for the next sort of three, maybe even up to 7 days, but at a lower level. That being said, of course, Richard's video came out, and of course that laying out the case that ProveX, because it would have a smaller capital raise, it would be the chance to pump that up way higher is a lot easier, right? So that there has given more people even more reason to go in. So that's kind of the base ground there. We got Gary in the house there. Gary says, can't believe what RH has done, turning his back Hex, PulseChain, and PulseX, and now he's trying to play the same con again. Look at what damage he's done to the price. Well, hey, look, Gary, you're not alone. There's a lot of people feel that way and see the action. That certainly that's what's happened to the market. Now, the question will always be on the upside is, will Richard actually do put a lot of that capital that he's had through sacrifices back into the system? That is always the big question, right? We're going to have to, I guess we'll find out. At the moment, with the ETH price down below 37.73, I'm not expecting it anytime soon. That being said, of course, he does have other capital, right, from the AA lobby, things like that. So we'll find out. All right, so we're at quadruple 1567 right now on the old Pulse. Let's jump away to that. So that's the hourly chart right now. So the daily chart on Hex is down there as well. Obviously, nothing too exciting about that. And of course, the bottom, where will the bottom actually be? Because at the moment, we on the RSI on the weekly, we're at 33, so that can still go down lower. On the daily, we're also down at 25, so we're oversold. But of course, we've got a few more days left at least where the ProveX rate would be considered pretty friendly. I don't know, maybe up to $1.50, $1.75 even. We'll see. We'll see where the market decides where they think fair value is. Obviously, if you think you're going to get massive X's, you keep going for a lot longer than that, right? May keep going for longer than that. So we'll see. We're going to find out what the market decides. Now, the market is pretty exhausted, but people buy into that big X's, as Richard's painted out in the video. They may consider that, good money, so to speak. Now, the other side of course, people can get to pick up PulseChain at a lot more volume and get that distribution. So we'll see how it all plays out. We're just going to find out. All right, so that is Pulse chart right now. Let's get into the overall. We're at $19 million, so we have had a lot more volume. Unfortunately, it's all been generally sell volume, and we've only got a few tokens in the top 100 trending here on Deck Screener that are green right now. We got Nexus here, been around for 14 hours. That's up 1,200%. We got UFO from PTC, that's up 10% right now. We got P Tiger there from Crypto Tiger God, kind of a rising influencer star on X, and he's up 7% right now at 40/100th of a penny. And so that is kind of rebounded I did call the top on that, and if you'd been in Strategy Club, you would have got that message. So 6700th of a penny was at the top there, and it's come down, found some support at 3300th of a penny, and does seem to be in a nice little consolidation zone here at the moment, right in the middle, almost just above the middle, I'd say, 4100. So we got some support at 4/10 of a penny. So let's see how high would it be back to the all-time high. Well, you're talking about 67%. Now, the other side of it is the RSI here ticking away on the hourly. It's on the hourly. I don't like using hourly. Let's use 4 hourly. At the moment is just above 50. That's looking pretty good. What does the daily look like? Daily, of course, hasn't printed very long, but it is at 65. So it might do a little bit of a gainer there. We'll see. And, of course, that's the US dollar. But the pulse ratio, let's have a look at that. Pulse ratio looking a lot better at a 262. So that's on the daily there. So we're actually still looking at a pretty strong chart based on the pulse ratio. And I know P Tiger there is pretty committed to making it successful as per his videos. So you can check that out. It's P Tiger. Phoenix at the moment up 5%. Unity from Cryptographics is up 2% right now. Let's have a quick look at that. And we're on day. Let's go check the day that we're on actually. The day is day 108. So day 110 is when the fractal. So that's in 2 days' time. The fractal, this one here, it's got $107,000 on it. That is going to be moved over to the buy and burn. So the buy and burn still has a decent amount of value in it. It's only operating 1% right now, but that has still have what maybe $120,000 in it. So that's going to jump to what do we say, to 230 or something like that, $230,000. So that actually is going to be quite a nice booster there. Of course, we've got a lot of volume coming out. The volume has pretty much been staying, I think, in the pools. Liquid supply at 3 million, and staked is at 1.9. So a lot of liquid supply there. People not actually staking per se. I'm not sure what Cryptographics thinks about that ratio, but the staking at the moment is 191%. The creating is negative 71. So everyone's got to be staking or just holding liquid, and that seems to be what they're doing. We're also expecting a big protocol coming that will probably support both Unity and Taurus. Taurus, of course, being on the Ethereum chain. It's about 39 days ahead of this one. Let's have a quickly look at Taurus and see how that compares since it's 39 days ahead. Let's have a look at the stats there. So we're actually sitting at 8.5 cents. It's not too bad. And the liquid supply is at 2.1 million and staked is at 3.2. So you got actually, people are staking at the end of the day there. Let's have a look at the buy and burn. Has it got much left in it? It's still got a lot left in there. 245,000. Of course, the fractals are rebuilding a little bit there. It's got 11K. And the buy and burn, of course, has got been mostly spent. Let's go to the ERN protocol, and you can see staking at the moment. Taurus 230% and negative 57% over here. So it's actually got even better yield. So it's probably encouraged a little bit of that staking to happen there with the old Taurus. All right, so that is a little bit of a bounce there for Unity. So Unity actually looking pretty good, guys, and that's with PulseX, even under pressure. Let's have a look at the ratio to PulseX. Is at 5,000. So 5,000 there. Bottomed out at 2,300 and recent highs just below 6,000 there. PulseX per Unity. So that's actually looking pretty good. And only a day or so away from that fractal being moved over. And that moves it into phase 4, which is kind of the maturity phase, as I put it, phase 4. So not bad. All right, we're going to try and get Cryptographics on the show sooner than later. What happened? What happened to my link there? What the fudge? I'm all over the place, guys. I'm losing the plot. All right, so I keep accidentally clicking buttons. I hate that when it happens. All right, so that's pretty much it. Everything else is out of the money right now. So we've got PTCD Grays only up a couple percentage points at the moment. They've got a new interface, right? You guys, we looked at that yesterday, I think, briefly. You go check out Pre-Branam if you want to see the full video. but it was pretty cool from Prairie Banana, and that did a great job, and Peter C. the Greys. What else there? Everything's pretty much down right now. Let's scroll down. Everything's pretty much down. Scroll right to the bottom here. See some of the bigger impacts here. So we've got Anon, PulseChain Anon. I think this was actually doing quite well yesterday, I thought. It's down 44% today. Yeah, big sell-off there today. Look at that. It wasn't too bad yesterday. Big sell-off there today on the old Anon. SolidX is down at 42 cents, down 26%. So obviously there's some abandonment issues there. And that has actually went down all the way down 29 cents today. So, that's getting pretty much hammered on that one. And a whale bay at the moment, down 26%. I think this is from Humpback Whale, I think, Humpback guy. That it's had some volatility today. 40s 9,000, back at 000 1600 on that wick there on the old whale. What else is pretty interesting here? Sparta absolutely hammered, right? Probably just absolutely siphoned out into the sacrifice ProveX pool. Absolutely carnage there. 80k liquidity, 8k volume. And yeah, let's have a look at the website quickly on this one. Let's look at the stats. And the treasury there still says it's holding $86,000 in treasury, but it's got hardly no hex in there. Other tokens, I don't know what the other tokens are, but $82,000 in there. It just doesn't tell me what they are, but that is not looking as hot. Now, still having just a bit of treasury there is good, but still not great. All right, so that is at 1.3 cents right now. And what else has got interesting? Now, Vouch, of course, is down 17%. Now, Vouch is, of course, one of the big heavyweights on PulseChain. But, of course, with Pulse down and with the ProveX sacrifice still on, this is, just under pressure here. We've got a bit of a wick down today. And so we've got the Pulse ratio. So just a bit of a collapse there from 1.1 Pulse down to less than 1 to 1. So less than 1 to 1 now at 0.95. And so, we'll probably see a good opportunity in Vouch to pick some of that up, but we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. It's been it was pretty good actually over this whole period. When Pulse recovers, of course, that will super recover. So that's pretty much it on a lot of those. What else are some popular ones that are sort of down at the moment? We talked about Vouch. We've got time dividend at the moment down 12% at 1.11 of a penny. So have a quick look at that too. So you can sort of see that at the moment. So that will probably reverse a bit like Vouch. Those are all kind of in a similar pool. Obviously, we've got the Richard Hart cause there. Pump tires right now down 10%. Let's have a look at that. The main sort of brand token for pump tires. Yeah, pretty hammered there. Quarter of a penny right now. Market cap 2.4 mil. The ratio to Pulse probably still down 157 at the moment. Pulse per pump. Peacock at the moment, they've got a bit of selling pressure too. Where's Peacock there? Right there, Peacock. We're going to be talking about that in a minute, but that got a little bit of selling pressure there, down at 8100th of a penny right now. The ratio to Pulse, 523, which is not too bad, but it's definitely at the bottom of the range at the moment if you box that in. That's the old Peacock. And then we've got Teddy Bear from Jason Maria down here as well. That's down 8%. But we're going to have a look at Bria, because Bria's it's going to be presumably associated to CoinWell, and that's down at 0001100 at the moment. 0001100. The market cap is down 110k. Yo, not fully oversold there yet on the daily either, but we'll keep a lookout for that. That is, I think its life support is based on CoinWell, and maybe even the monkey one. We're going to look at that in a minute. I always forget the name, but we'll get there. Is it Monkey Coin? I don't know. 9mm, the big DEX, the second biggest DEX on PulseChain, down 7% as well. And that is at 40, just under half a penny, 4700th of a penny. And the ratio to Pulse, look at that on the daily, at 300. It's actually pretty consistent. So, this has got to be a pretty good one, right? Looking forward on the old 9mm. But you need PulseChain to, rally up there. But that's just looking pretty solid. So those are some of the bigger ones there. I think we've talked about most of the big ones there. We've got Sun Mineral just below 4 cents. But that is going to be migrating, as we understand it, to Solana. So not a lot happening on the old chaining. The volume's higher, but it's a bit of a dump fest. Let's jump over to the next section, which is going to be the ProveX sacrifice from the old markets. ProveX at the moment, let's have a look. We've an hour and 22 minutes away, so I'm a little early on the show today. Gary says, if it waddles, looks and quacks like a duck, it's a duck. Well, it's definitely a duck right now. If it's going to turn into a swan, though, Gary, that's the question. Will the mother or the wizard come along and turn it into a to that? If it asks for you to send all your Bitcoin and ETH to their wallet in the name a scammer, says Gary. That's Gary said. Hey, look, you're not alone. A lot of people feel that way, and that is what's happening right now. So there's a lot of questions over that, timing, etc. ProveX sacrifice at the moment is 1 hour and 21 minutes for the end of day 22. We've got $14.2 million in US dollar value at the moment, 284 billion points, and 12,000 people have sacrificed so far. So that is a big number. I think for PulseChain, it was somewhere around 48,000, somewhere in that ballpark. And for PulseX, I think it was over 100,000, 108,000 or something like that. So it gives some benchmarks there. So 1 hour and 20 minutes to go, and we're at 14.2 million. And at the moment, we've got the ProveX pool. Well, you're talking about this, Gary, so we're going to talk about this because we've got almost $5 million from the ProveX pool, and the commission that these guys are making. So this is from Bunkermentals, and they've got a pretty good reputation overall. They've launched 4 protocols on PulseChain. They had been disappeared for quite a lot of time, along with a lot of other people, and they came back and they set this up. Now, it's still a public good, so it's still a service. And as you guys know, we believe in meritocracy and getting paid, and so they got paid, but it's just too greedy. 33% has been the last couple of days into the things. 33% of the multiplier is what they get. So it's giving them a huge position in the ProveX pool for free. Apart from setting up their management site for ProveX pool, other than that, it's just greed, just too greedy, way too greedy. And they've got everybody's jumping around them, loving it. And I only like it from the utility point of view, and I believe they should get a fee for that. But 33% is just that's just greed, absolute greed there. So $5 million right now is where that's at the moment. So I know, presumably at that price, they'll probably end up with 5 to 10% of the supply, or something like that. It's going to be insane. So free ride for them. And number 2, we've got 300,000. We've got all these other wallets down here. These could very well be Rack and Michelle. Some people think it might be Richard, things like that. But this is these are all just popped up, all these wallets, and they're all just been increasing, 100,000, all the way down here. So those presumably all associated to each other. So they've been increasing there. And if that's Rackham, well, it is. If it's Rackham, it's Rackham. If it's not, it's somebody else. But there we go. That is the total there at the moment. Now, the interesting stuff from our point of view is how much is going in from PulseChain. Well, it's still a lot, guys. In fact, it's still jumping up a lot there, 3.2 million, and it's all the good stuff, as Gary would say. It's USDC, DAI, Wrapped ETH, USD Tether, and Wrapped Bitcoin, all the stuff that's been going up in value this year, even on the pullbacks. And this has gone in here. So 3.2 million. They could have, either not sold down PulseChain or pumped the old PulseChain has gone in there. That's the direct amount we can see, 3.2 million. And the Ethereum amount there is some of that could be indirectly routed through the bridge and things like that. So in other pools, so on Ethereum. So that is 10.3 million right now. BSC at 158 million. 158,000, I should say. Base at 131,000, and then Bitcoin there is risen quite a bit, up to 115k on the old Bitcoin. So it's risen a lot because I thought that was sitting around 15k. So that's gone up to 115. So there's a lot more Bitcoin gone under there. We can actually see the amounts here as well on the old Bitcoin. So those are all gone in at the moment. Arbitrum, 65k, Monero, 47, Solana, 41, Ripple, 41, Polygon, 19, Bitcoin Cash, 17, Optimism, 5k, and then we've got all the rest of them under there as well. Let's scroll down here. Yeah, we've got a few other new chains that were added yesterday or the day before. So that is that's the at the moment that's where we're at. So yeah, that PulseChain side, 3.2 million direct. That is a lot of capital, right? So, and that is all. Obviously, we've got the all-time low for the old PulseChain chart. We got WLF in the house there. Put the fries in the sacks. Is WL. They don't accept your fries. They don't accept World Liberty fries. It's only the Bridgeton cores there. So that is where we are right now. A lot of controversy about this, the timing, and of course, a lot of the arguments that if you haven't seen a lot of the capital from the sacrifices rolled back in the PulseChain, maybe barring the 20 million way back on the V recovery attempt in July 2023, then you haven't seen a lot of capital been sitting around. It was also used, it could have easily been bought Ethereum at the 1800 with the DAI. Ended up buying a very high price, 1337, which was kind of odd because we were wondering that too. Richard, funny enough, mentioned that. So you've got all this sort of stuff happening, and now you've got another capital raise again at a terrible time when PulseChain has been declining, and so you've got even more. Now there are the counter arguments, of course. So that is what we actually see. Now the counter arguments, of course, is that ripping off the band-aid. Richard indicating don't sell at a loss. So there's the counter moves there, and that the idea is attracting new capital from new users from other chains. That was kind of the idea. Of course, that has had a lot of criticisms about that too. And so, yeah, this is kind of where we are right now. And of course, tanking PulseChain even further. Now, you can say, well, if you can shake out a few weeks' hands, you're still taking a lot of that capital in. Another capital raise on money, you already got tons of money. You got the AA lobby ETH, probably a lot of that still. You've got the PulseChain, PulseX, ETH over $1 billion. And then you've got now raising a little bit extra money as well. So lots of things around there that people are not very happy about. Now, the question is, does this all rotate? Because we know Richard was saying about a month ago that he wants to create PulseChain season. He's not really curious about altcoin season. He wants to create PulseChain season. So after this bloodbath, is that when the magic's going to start rolling into 2026? That's the question that everyone's looking at. So I guess the question would be, if you get to the end of 26 and nothing's happened, then you can say, well, nothing happened, and so you can decide whether you agree with Gary or not. And by that time, I guess is probably the way to look at it. Anyway, moving from that, moving apart from this ProveX, which we're obviously ramping up through the daily rate there. We've got 6.25%. Tomorrow, which is the day starting in an hour and a quarter, we're going to go from $1.06 and a quarter per 10,000 points to $1.12. So we're still pretty cheap still. Not a lot of difference between $1 and $1.12, especially when you're looking at Richard's video and you're thinking it could go up max easy to pump, right, was the argument. And so this is still going to be the case quite a few days ahead of us, right? So the question is, how much more are we going to have before we get to that point? And of course, we saw that PulseChain went down to 1,500, a new all-time low. So that's the big question there. How much are the whales going to keep going into it as well? And so we might once we get to $1.50, is that enough, or do people just consider the upsides of so many X's that this is just irrelevant? All this dollars here, and they're willing to go in for many dollars ahead. So we're going to find out what the market decides there as well. But definitely, this is definitely a higher cost for people to enter, but still not, I don't think, near anything for at least 3 to 7 days. And we saw that in the previous sacrifices too, although this one here is a bit different because we've got a lower capital base, and therefore the argument is we'll have bigger X's. But we could also have a sell fest. We've seen a lot of behavior where people just pump and dump. So they get in here, they get if they get a pump in the first day, they're going to dump into that, and then people might be able to come in and scoop up a good rate. So that's the counter argument, just like we've seen before, right? Does it really matter the relative scalings, whether it's $1 billion or $15 million or $20 million? So we've seen similar behavior, right? It's pretty reliable behavior. So let's see what happens in any case. All right, so that's kind of the cool. Now, if Ethereum passes 3,700, we get over 5,000, we get in some sort of hyperbolic, that big hyperbolic move on the old crypto, and we get Bitcoin really re-rating, Ethereum really re-rating, all this sort of stuff. Does Richard then start to use some of that money in any case? He's got different things he could do with it. So there are different things he could do: fractionalization, sit it in staking pools, scrape off the income, and pump PulseChain every year forever, right? So at least to a point, right? So there's lots of different things he could do. What does he do? Now, he said he wants to make PulseChain season, but then he came out with ProveX sacrifice, and of course that's dumped us down really low. And if he wants to brag about big upside, no one's really going to say, well, the low, because he made the low, right? So it's not like people are going to give him the glory for that. Now, he will get the glory if we start seeing capital flowing, some chess moves made that are really supportive of the price, and that's what people are going to be looking for, I think, moving ahead. So 2026 is kind of the key year. If it doesn't happen then I think a lot of people at the end of the year will go, whoa, well, that was that. That's pretty much it. All right, so that is where we are on ProveX pool. Now, moving away from the PulseChain, and that's what our topic is, Richard Hart, PulseChain, and ProveX, we're going to move on to 5 projects on PulseChain. PulseChain, of course, is ticking away, and we're going to look at 5 different big projects. Before we say that, though, we have obviously got Ethereum upgrade today, so that's coming up. Not sure what the exact time is, but that is due today as well. So we might check that out a bit later also, but that is happening today. So at the moment, let's move on into some of the cool stuff there. Now, let me just pull it up. I don't know if I had the link there on this one, so let me pull up the link for the... I think I reposted it. Yeah, so I got reposted it, so it's gone. So before we get into the PulseChain stuff, with 5 big projects, I think are going to be contributing pretty strongly to PulseChain in some form or another. But let's pick up the launch here for Fusaka upgrade. It is today. So Ethereum Foundation here. Fusaka upgrade is today. Ethereum is securely scaling there. So pretty cool. So we're excited about that. I'm not going to play the video, but that is apparently happening today. I'm not sure if it's actually happened quite yet, but it is due today. That was 8 hours ago, that update. So, wow, 1 hour ago, we got an update here, guys. Upgrade in progress, activating Fusaka Epoch. So it's kind of cool. Fusaka is live. So 45 minutes, guys, ago, it is live. So we got that pretty hot off the press. So Fusaka is live on Ethereum mainnet. PLS now unlocks 8x data throughput for rollups. UX or user experience improvements via the R1 curve, pre-confirmation prep for scaling the L1 with gas limit increase and more. Community members will continue to monitor for issues over the next 24 hours. So pretty cool. They had a bit of a watch party there apparently. So that is that's good news, and we'll see what if that flows into PulseChain at some stage. But that is where we are on the old Ethereum. Let's get into the 5 big projects I've got to talk about today: CoinWell, RailGun, PUSD, Tetra, and Vault. So we're going to break that down. So regardless of what's happening with PulseChain price and with the ProveX and with anything that Richard moves with chess pieces, and I believe he's got a lot of moves he can make, we're going to get into projects that we know are going to be contributing some pretty good value in the near term. So let's get into that. All right, so the first one, of course, is CoinWell from Referral Bonus, the biggest whale on the PulseChain. Obviously, the biggest PulseChain and PulseX whale as well from sacrifices. And presumably, he is the one with all those wallets. If it's not him, it's question mark. Could be Richard, but we're expecting their way to come in later on. And as Referral Bonus, so he's put this video out, of course, about Coin Mafia. I believe this may be what was previously called CoinNaki, but it's not 100%. He does have CoinNaki in here on the hashtags. But this is coming up, and we're pretty excited about it. Looks very cool. And this is the sort of quality that we want to see on PulseChain, right? Now, this is going to be multi-chain, of course, so, but it's going to be low-hanging fruit as the PulseChain community to kick it off. And so Coin Mafia in the play. Now, he's been for months and months using professional marketing services on a multi-chain approach to build up his following and influence, which has been pretty cool. And he spent a lot of months doing that. And we've got this coming up. Now, we know, I think Joshua Wu is going to be involved with the Coin Mafia side of things. He's an influencer on the PulseChain, on the X. and also does comedian stuff as well. So he's going to be, looks like he's part of this. Now, obviously, the team that we've seen so far, we've seen Rackle Michelle, we've seen Triple Dad, we've seen Jen, which Rackle Michelle's wife, who's the CEO of Coinbound, which is the overarching entity for all these, I think, 5 or 6 different websites are going to be launched. The big one, of course, is CoinWell. We haven't had a lot of news about that yet, but of course, they'll be waiting for the timing in the market, right? So I presume that will be launching in December, but they'll be wanting a bit of a pivot. The interest rate cut on the 10th of December, probably pretty key. We've got the inflation data on this Friday. So that's probably, Rackham will be no doubt watching that and looking for the right timing. You want to get the sentiment on the up, not right now, right, which is on the down. So yeah, we do have the majors on the other chains, and this is going to be multi-chain. So that's important too. So he's going to probably be keeping tabs on that, but good chance it could be launching, after the 10th. So we'll see. Less than 7 days away. We'll see how that goes, but I think that's looking pretty good. So I think there's going to be a pretty big heavyweight, and of course we know that CoinWell is going to be a DeFi ecosystem. It's going to have multiple DeFi in it, so stablecoin, liquidity fork, swapping pools, and things like that, and maybe a few surprises as well. It's going to have some AI in it, right, with the old Bria AI. So yeah, and also if Coin Mafia is the coin which I believe it probably is, then we're going to have the battle of the memes, which I think is going to be great, and that could be really, really good for marketing and give a lot of pump tires and other meme coins a chance to really get out there. And of course, the benefit would be that they'd get some sort of burning from volume fees or something like that. So we're going to keep a look out there and see what the final product looks like. But we're expecting CoinWell and Coin Mafia to be coming first. They're the main sort of protocols there. And then we've got a couple other supportive ones in education, other stuff coming as well. So we're going to keep a lookout for that. I think that could be very, very positive. Now, how is that going to be positive? Well, it's going to be multi-chain. It's going to be very professional. You can see that the artwork's really great and the whole design. We've seen little sneak peeks. Some people are testing CoinWell, as I understand it. And we potentially, he could be bringing in a lot of client money, right? So in fresh capital from clients that he knows, as well as potentiality into Saudi money, potentiality into the Trump family with Donald Trump Jr., potentially even further, maybe even further, possibly into the White House digital strategy, things like that would be interesting. USD1, I don't know, maybe have some associations there. We'll see. Obviously, it's going to have its own stablecoin, and then possibly even a roadmap to NASDAQ listing. We're going to find out. He's going to let us know, but he has teased a few of those things before, so that's why I'm mentioning them. And we'll see how it all ends up. But he's not. He's out to win, right? He's a venture capitalist. He's been waiting many years to be able to launch these products. They previously looked different, of course, from the way back. And so he's not here to lose. He's here to win. And so he knows that you create great products or create product fit, and you multi-chain it, and then you get the capital flow in. And now's a great time to do it, right? Everybody is starting their adoption phase into crypto, and so it's a pretty awesome offering. And he's really taken the care and the attention to do really quality DeFi, quality memefi, and also just the marketing of it's been very, very good. So I'm very optimistic about where this is heading, and we could see a lot of fresh capital coming in there from TradeFi in particular. So keep a lookout for that. So that's number one, coming very, very soon. The second one, of course, is LibertySwap, which we've given a lot of coverage on because this is a major upgrade for PulseChain. This is that part of that whole vision, Richard Hart vision of PulseChain not only being a DeFi chain, a people's chain, but also being a privacy chain. And this is this is absolutely huge for that vision. And so LibertySwap here has been pretty diligent, and I've been liking a lot of the messaging that I've been seeing from them about all this. So it's been pretty good. After RailGun, this is just hot off the press. This just posted just before the live stream. After RailGun, our main goals for this year are basically finished. So RailGun is expected on the 7th. So we're only a few days away from that, guys. Maybe 3-4 days from that. And so that is expected on the 7th. So yeah, maybe 4 days away. After RailGun, our main goals for this year are basically finished. So that's the main bit. Now, we did have other stuff on the roadmap, so that's obviously going to get pushed into next year. You guys know we're talking about Peacock staking, meme coin airdrops, new dashboards for that. Pump Tires front end, I think, was talked about before as well. So there's other things that they've got on their product list. They've got lots, I think. I think they've got a lot of product ideas on the list there. We're going to find out what all is for the next year. USDC withdrawal from PulseChain to Solana. USDC will be added about a week after the Railgun release. It's an easy task, so they're going to be adding that in. And then, of course, the Coinbase on-ramp is only waiting for Coinbase to approve our code. All right, so the Coinbase on-ramp is only waiting for Coinbase to approve our code. Why is it so slow? Why does it always take so long? Kobe, can you please help us there? So looking for some help with the old Coinbase. Once this release is done, we can work on some liquidity tools for December and start preparing our products for Q1 2026. So this is the sort of thing that we want to see on PulseChain. High quality products delivery, really significant product delivery onto PulseChain. Now, with this, of course, they'll be looking with the RailGun, also having the privacy wallet, right? So the RailGun wallet set up. And of course, they already teased us that they're going to be working on a full wallet. Full wallet, but modified for the fact that it's really built around privacy. So it may not have some of the bells and whistles you're normally used to getting with certain wallets. But this is pretty exciting. So that was pretty cool from them today. So yeah, I mean, Ella made a little mention of this. The goal and design are very different. To reach full privacy, users would need to give up many of the conveniences that multi-chain wallets and services provide. This is why no consumer-focused wallet can fully shift into privacy and trading-focused UI, not at the stage. So that is coming up. So we're pretty excited about that. That'll probably be into their next year roadmap. So yeah, I mean, I got a comment here about Petius when they made the tool. They said we're working on a wallet site. We're working on the wallet side of Railgun, or Railway, I should say. Made me realize it's actually not difficult to fork this wallet, run it on PulseChain, and add hardware wallet support. Keep it open source, plug in privacy RPC, rebuild the in-wallet swap with Petius API and Liberty Swap, and we end up with a solid wallet UI or user interface. Anyone who wants to build should give it a try. Obviously, Petius made a good comment here. Nice move, guys. We're happy to help. And then Liberty Swap came and said, with your support, we will push the proposal forward. A full privacy-focused wallet UI and trading experience is the goal. I'm doing my homework now. From here, we will make PulseChain even better. So that's probably going to be moving into 2026, presumably maybe as early as Q1 for that. But we will have the privacy wallet before that, as I understand it, for the Railgun upgrade. So because you're going to need to have privacy addresses and shielding and all that sort of stuff with that. So that is coming up only 4 days away, and then maybe a full wallet solution adjusted for privacy is looking to come up next after that. So that's really, really bullish in that sense. Presumably they will have maybe some fee type thing in there. We'll see how that works, whether it's that simple or they're just a plain wallet upgrade in that sense. So kind of cool. So that is some cool stuff coming from Liberty Swap, and that is a major deal for PulseChain. So very, very cool, and really fulfills a lot of the Richard Art vision there. Now the question is, will we see any if you're in the camp that sees Richard actually making some moves? He wants out PulseChain season, and he's doing things in a way that maybe the community doesn't really like, or a big part of the community doesn't like, but will actually ended up doing the magic carpet ride, as he's indicated before. Then this vision is pretty awesome to that, and it would allow Richard to move capital onto PulseChain if that was the method with the privacy chain, right? So this is an enabler for all that vision for 2026. So we'll keep a lookout for that, and that is pretty cool, and also tied into Tornado Cash, right? So keep a lookout for that. Big deal. 4 days away. Could we see some magic into maybe, if not December, then January, with some big capital flow from there? We'll find out. Now this team seems to be committing a lot of resources to it, and it beckons the question of who is the team, right? Who is the team? There's a couple of suspects, but it is what it is. They seem to be pretty well funded, and they seem to be a global team, and they offer support. So yeah, interesting times. So, and they've operated as a very good bridge, and they've really changed PulseChain for the better this year. Been absolutely amazing. So we're looking forward to that. RailGun, 4 days to go, guys. It is a big ramp up. They said something like 36 hours all up for that, and they've had to do it in a staged approach and defer it a little bit because there's the attack vectors and things like that. They've got to do everything right. The thing they've already done is upgrade their bridge contracts, as we understand it, for to enable privacy to occur there. So we're looking forward to it. That's coming up. That is going to be so we've got this probably maybe within 4 days on if they hit their target, and then we've got potentially CoinWell the following week potentially with the timing there. So we'll keep a lookout for that. PUSD ALGO. Now PUSD ALGO, obviously we had a big update there. Some people call it an announcement, but I think it was a decent little update, and I'd rather have communications than no communications, especially after a long time. And so we're pretty excited about that. Now this could be one of the parts of Richard's vision. Not only was it privacy, as we're seeing with RailGun, but it was actually a stablecoin, right? Now in the past, he's typically said that he prefers fiat-backed stablecoins, kind of his ultimate model. But actually, I don't think it really matters. I think that we need, a good stablecoin models on PulseChain. That's going to be one of the main big themes, of course, with the Genius Act, once that is got approved, but once it is enabled through legislation and the whole setup there through the regulations. That stablecoin's a big deal. Now the hunt, of course, has always been on for the stablecoin trilemma, which is you have your fiat-backed coins. We've got Coast on PulseChain, and then you have your over-collateralized coins, which we have liquidity forks on PulseChain. And what we haven't got is a decentralized algorithmic stablecoin. And as far as I know, in the world, we don't have any that are actually operating successfully that are truly algorithmic. And so, we have the famous example of Terra Luna and the crash out there and the problems that were with that protocol. And so PUSD ALGO looks like they may very well have the solution to actually make it work using miner bots, basically. And now we do know they've got some upgrades and some new tech that they're going to be using. We don't know what that looks like at this stage. So that's we do know that much. And so that is coming up. This could be a big DeFi protocol too. In other words, it's going to offer a different type of yields. Probably not as huge as some others, but it'll be a great place to park stable coins and other things like that. Just a good DeFi yield in it, and they can be valued pretty highly. Right, the market values these pretty highly if they provide a lot of security and reliability, and will be multi-chain. We're expecting this to be multi-chain along with the rest of Jacob's projects. The other thing, it could be interconnected with his other projects as well. So obviously he's got the game with Mafia, which is probably getting very close to launching. And then he's also got the decentralized casino, which is multi-chain, omni-chain, and that is on-chain bet, and that looks like it's probably getting close too. And so this would be really a great complement to that, if not a useful plug-in to those systems as well, presuming if they launch before PUSD ALGO does, right? Now we have talking about what does it enabled for the stablecoin to be going live. Well, this is before I get into that, this is going to really help solve that third part of the trilemma, which is scalability. So there's two. The third part of the trilemma has two issues around algorithmic stablecoin. One is scalability, and that's kind of the key one I think that applies to PulseChain, is that we want to get a lot more stablecoins circulating and creating a lot more value, as opposed to not the fiat-backed one, but potentially the liquidity forks, which get a lot of that stuff end up getting sunk into the platform itself, so it's not really moving around a lot. And so we want to see an algorithmic stablecoin really explode. In other words, people can come in with ALGO token under the existing model. There is obviously going to be a 2.0, and we don't know what that exactly looks like, what exact changes have been made. But 1.0, based on that information, people take the ALGO, they buy the ALGO coin, and then they mint out their PUSD stable there, and then they can redeem that as well. So we're excited about where this could potentially go, and we'll see what happens when it gets closer. And this will probably be multi-chain. And if it's a successful algorithmic stablecoin, then that puts PulseChain on the map. So it's a pretty heavyweight deal there. This is regardless of what Richard's doing. This is what someone else is doing, which is Jacob in this case. And so this could be really huge. So I am pretty optimistic about it. A lot of people wonder, why you stay so optimistic. Well, because I think it hits a lot of ticks in crypto that haven't been done, really at the frontier of crypto. And I think it's solid DeFi, real solid DeFi. and so I'm pretty optimistic about it. Yeah, and with the multi-chain angle, the future crypto is pretty multi-chain, as we all know. So yeah, that's I'm excited about that. So we'll keep our tabs on that. It is relating for this. It does need the Signum Oracle as one of the prerequisites, and so that looks like it's actually getting pretty close. So how close? Well, it seems pretty close. Hopefully before the end of the year, which would mean that PUSD ALGO potentially we could get an update if Signum Oracle launches this year. Maybe by the end of the year, if not at the beginning of next year, depending on when Signum launches. We might get an update about that because I've got to tie it into the old PUSD model there. And apparently got some new tech, so I'm interested in that too. All right, so that is PUSD ALGO, and we know the team has been, Jacob hired a team to build that out for this year, so presumably that's well advanced. Now, Tetra, of course, is coming. Tetra is at the frontier of DeFi as well. This really is democratizing the blockchain, and so it's going to be downloadable. Won't be Web3, it'll be downloadable, and we're waiting for this to go live. Now, we've seen the demo, so we know it definitely is close this time, not just come in. So we know that the website got updated, so it's all ready to go. And once this is published, we will see a timeline, presumably, for the launch. Now, that is also going to lead into Signum Oracle, our second Oracle coming into PulseChain, and that's the one that Jacob wants to use for PUSD ALGO, and apparently other teams do too. So we're looking forward to that. So that's supposed to launch pretty quickly after Tetra, apparently using some of the features of Tetra, and so they kind of go together, and that's going to be pretty huge. But this is going to be a big game changer in its own right for Tetra, because it's going to really democratize the blockchain. A lot of people are going to be interact with it just using nodes and connectors is what I call it. And they're going to be able to do lots of fancy tricks there. And that will fit a certain niche part of the market, but probably quite a large market could grow out of that. Also, it could influences maybe with certain concepts could end up building stuff and using them on live streams and creating popularity there too. And people might be able to actually potentially sell products off the back of it. So it would be interesting to see whether it ends up being a bit of an infrastructure for that. But we're pretty excited about where it's going to go. I think there's a little snapshot. I think it's Stratus, is it? Let me look. Yeah, Stratus here with the drag and drop. So you basically able to, connect up different things, functions, and interact with the contracts and set up different price calls, things like that. It's lots of different things that people could do. So it's going to be interesting to see what people do with that. So yeah, pretty excited about that. And Signum Oracle, and of course that's going to be a real huge value add, and another thing that will put, I think, PulseChain on the map with that product. So these all things are all additive, right? They all have that additive impact, and these are all pretty heavyweights. And of course, with the Oracle, that's going to be bullish for enabling, the big PUSD ALGO algorithmic stablecoin, and that will put PulseChain on the map too, right? Because liquidity forks, is very, very well known, famous, and of course, there's been about 35, 40 forks of that. And so that bodes well for the algorithmic stablecoin as well. Now, obviously, you always need marketing promotion as well. You can create the greatest products, but you've also got to market and promote them as well. So those are key aspects that teams need to think about. All right, let's jump over into the last one that we're going to talk about, which is, Fast Abdul. Now, Fast Abdul, obviously a very popular community member, always on live streams and things like that, but it's also leading developments. So it's pretty cool. And he's already launched the ink printer, which is a liquidity fork using ink token, and he basically wrapped up all the ink liquidity forks using Richard Hart cores. But we've also got two PHUCs and also Vault 369. So Vault 369, of course, is really pushing the frontier. Now we talked about the liquidity forks. Well, we've got 4 of the top liquidity forks on PulseChain. At least they were at the previous values, and there's about 35 or so in the world. And now he's really pushed the boundary with this, which I think is really, really creative. And he's now making the liquidity fork multi-chain, multi-collateral, which I'm not aware of anyone's actually done that before. And so this is really, really frontier stuff, and is a heavyweight. So, we could have the most advanced liquidity fork on PulseChain, as well as the first algorithmic working algorithmic stablecoin as well, based on my knowledge. So that is pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy. And so, yeah, it's looking pretty good. Now, obviously, the token Vault is already trading, but we're waiting for the actual application to launch. Apparently, it's very soon. It's going to be much earlier than previously estimated. And so we can see here, this is a front end for that at the moment. It's a demo. and we can see the front end for that. So it looks a little bit like Nuke Supply using the old, if you've seen the old 80s movie War Games, it's kind of got the old green font there. So we've got going to have multiple collaterals. You're obviously going to be able to get a stable coin and so forth, and it's going to be multi-chain. So this could be pretty big. How do you value that? Is it the sum of the parts, or is it going to be even worth more than that? So we're going to find out. But there's going to be a few extra other bells and whistles on this too, as we understand it. But you're going to be able to borrow, you're going to be able to stake, swap, and things like that. Pretty cool. It's going to be a multi-chain. You can already see some of the teaser chains: Polygon, Avalanche, BNB, Solana, Sonic, PulseChain, and Ethereum. So it's got some of the heavyweights there. So yeah, pretty excited about where this will go, and very, very cool. Now, people are going to be able to stake the Vault token and earn fees, of course, borrowing fees, redemption fees, liquidity penalties. So it's going to be a business as usual, but it's going to be multi-chain, and could be a big juggernaut there. And of course, bring a lot of value from other chains potentially into PulseChain users. So that's all good too, right? So if we add up a lot of that stuff, if we add a lot of stuff there, CoinWell could bring more capital into PulseChain. A PUSD ALGO, of course, would potentially bring more capital into PulseChain as well. A Tetra maybe possibly to different ways. We'll see how that is all applied. RailGun, of course, will bring a lot of capital into PulseChain. A lot could be another heavyweight as well. So a lot of these could all bring heavy capital and new users into PulseChain. So it's all part of not just being cool tech, but actually bring big capital attractions. And then you've got Vault 369 as well. So all these five are coming, and so Vault could be up before the end of the year. We'll see. Certainly soon was the last update I got given, and so yeah, we'll keep a tab on that. So 4 out of 5 of these could be launched before the end of the year, which is pretty exciting. PUSD ALGO probably in next year now. Waiting for the Signum Oracle. We'll get a roadmap update for that. But this is pretty 5 big heavyweights. So I'm pretty excited about these, and it makes me excited about PulseChain, regardless of where we think Richard's going to play chess moves on the thing. So I definitely think Richard's been playing a lot of chess moves. I think he's got a lot of moves he can make. So we're going to, it looks like 2026 is going to be the year for PulseChain. And so we'll keep an eye on all that. Now, I think Richard's made a lot of moves since the beginning of the year, obviously around inflation on PulseChain with Hex, with the farms, all that sort of stuff, all the way through to obviously ProveX now. And of course, like I said a month ago, he said, I'm really focused on PulseChain season. Let's see, we've got to trust his moves that way. Obviously, he's just taken a lot more capital that would otherwise gone to PulseChain. So that's sort of a counterintuitive. So we'll see what will happen to all those sacrifice funds going into the chain. We'll see what happens in time. All right, so that is the 5 big heavyweights. We're looking forward to it, so keep a tab on all those. So what do we go through? We went through CoinWell. That could be, let's put it in time order. So RailGun, probably 4 days time from now, but the Rail wallet, big deal for PulseChain. And then CoinWell, possibly in a week, 10 days, let's say. We'll see whether that launches after the interest rate cuts. But I just still feel like it's still going to be a December launch, so keep your tabs on that. PUSD, the next one would be possibly Tetra or Vault. It's a flip up between when those would be, but both of them potentially could be December. If maybe Vault could be different. Vault might be the one that's more likely December. We'll see. But obviously, everyone wants the sentiment in the market to pick up, right? They want to sentiment to pick up. We've definitely seen that amongst the majors. And then PUSD ALGO would be the last one there in the play. So that's kind of the 5 there. Pretty awesome stuff. All right, but we've still got the ProveX sacrifice going on at the moment, and that is suppressing all the prices and moving prices down. So we've got record lows right there. So we still have to go through that. How many days is it going to be ahead of us? It's going to be another couple of days. It's going to be a couple of weeks. Is the market going to keep piling into the ethos that ProveX would be the easy one to pump? Although I still think it suffers from quite a few of the same human psychologies there. But we'll find out. The market will decide. All right, so that's pretty much that. How are we done for time? We're doing an hour and 9 minutes. Not bad. We did pretty good today. All right, so does that, what other chess moves are we going to expect? Will we see a God mode candle this year? Will we see one next year? We also saw that CryptoSolve did some analysis of how much of the stable coins. Looks like we had somewhere up to $35 million in stable coins. just sort of sitting around. I haven't gone through in detail that assessment, but if that's even close to correct, then a lot of money could be used to pump PulseChain anytime. Maybe we'll get a New Year's Eve pump or something like that. Hey, thanks, guys, for going through the pain of the Band-Aid being ripped off. Here's a pump. Here's a pump. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we'll start getting some parabolic rises next year, like we did with Hex. So there's lots of question marks. We're going to find out in due course. We got Tintop in the house there. What's up, Hexkins? Good to see Tintop there. Hope you're doing well. All right, hope you enjoyed the show. An hour and 10 minutes. I'll catch you again tomorrow for the live show. Until then, scoop up the DCAing of the cheap prices and the massive volume that you get from it, and maybe put in some DeFi protocol, start earning even more yield, right? And that's the play. Buy low and earn yield. There we go. And maybe it helps you on the way. Now, if you guys haven't joined Strategy Club, links in the video description. Catch you there. It's just over $1 a day. About $35 a month, so great value there. And we're passing Intel in there all the time. What else? Yeah, if you're on X, just go to the top and you can join up to the Whoop shop there, WHOP, and we'll catch you in the Strategy Club there. Other than that, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. All right, bye for now. Take care.